This is a demonstration of the eiConsole for Healthcare data map created from the HL7 message template. Using the eiConsole for Healthcare, it's easy to map from any HL7 message to any other data format. Let's show you how. Simply create a new route, define a source, and define a target. Next, we'll create a new source transformation. We'll call it map from HL7 message. First, we'll need to take our HL7 and transform it into XML. So we'll use our transformation module. Scroll down to HL7 2.x. We can choose our version here, which in this case we'll use 2.4. And we'll also scroll down to use the friendly names option. Next, we'll need to configure a mapping in the XSLT transformation. By clicking New, we'll open the data mapper. Here we need to load in our source and target formats, starting with the source format. Here we will use our HL7 format builder. Again, we'll choose our version, 2.4, and choose friendly names. We'll also use a sample file. We'll use this lab result message as our HL7 sample file. We'll hit Open and Read Format. Here on the left, we can see that structure of the HL7 message. Next, we'll load in the desired target format, which will be a custom XML structure. I'll use the XML format builder. Select from the drop-down. And here we can also choose a sample file. In this case, I'm going to use the custom lab results XML file. Hit Read Format. That'll pull that structure over here on the right. Now to map from one to the other, I'll choose to create a target template using the sample data. The structure of my target data will appear in the center panel. Now to map values from the HL7 message, I'll simply navigate to the appropriate segment, field, or component and drag and drop. I'll map the last name, the first name, and the date of birth for demonstration purposes. If we need to do any further manipulation of the data, the palette of structures above the mapping can be used to accommodate that. For instance, if we want to map the inbound date format onto an XML date format, we can use the date-time formatting tool. Simply drop this formatter right into the date of birth. You'll get a pop-up box where you can have the input pattern that you expect from your HL7 message, and also input the output pattern that you expect your custom XML to have. In this case, our HL7 message is coming in as year, month, day, day. I want to format that automatically into year, dash, month, dash, day, day. Hit OK to apply that. We continue in this fashion until all the various fields are mapped. We can go ahead and then save our mapping and return to the eiConsole. We can now test the mapping in the eiConsole's testing mode. First, I'll go ahead and configure my test. And I'll use a sample file to feed through the test. We'll use that same lab result HL7 message that we use for the mapping. Hit Open. Now when I hit Execute Test, you'll see these three question marks turn into green check marks. Let's go ahead and take a look at the output. Here is our input HL7 message. Now here we can see its transformation to XML. And finally, mapping onto the custom format, where we can see the fields that we actually mapped here in this demo. So it's just that easy. We use the HL7 transformation module to convert the HL7 message into XML. We perform a mapping using drag and drop in the data mapper, and then we test in the testing mode. In minutes, we built the transformation from any HL7 message to any other format.